Hello, my favorite student, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, English with Speaker. My name is Tanya. In the next 6 lessons, you're going to learn the difference between these pairs and even groups of words, and will never ever make any mistakes in them. In today's lesson, which is lesson 1, we are going to find out and learn the difference between hear and listen. We use the verb listen when we are concentrating, paying attention, or trying to hear as well as possible. Listen is an action. It is something we do consciously, intentionally. For example, I tried listening to the podcast you recommended, but I couldn't. Every time I started, I fell asleep immediately. And remember, when listen has an object, it is followed by to. We listen to. Listen to the podcast, listen to the wind, listen to the birds. On the other hand, we use the verb hear when sounds come to our ears, which means we receive these sounds without concentrating, without paying attention or waiting for them. For example, I can hear you giggling. What are you hiding from me? She heard someone knocking on the door. We also use hear for public performances. I heard Ed Sheeran sing last July. We are talking about a concert. And we use listen for non-public performances. I listened to Ed Sheeran's song a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes we can use hear or listen. It depends on whether we want to emphasize the action or the event. For example, did you hear the announcement this morning? We focus on the announcement that this event happened. Did you listen to the announcement this morning? We focus on the action. Did you actually pay attention to what was being said? So, our ear will hear the sound whether you want it or not. But you decide if you want to listen to the sound. Let's test you a bit. You will see 5 sentences where you have to fill in the gaps with listen or hear. Sentence 1. Can you speak louder? I can't hear you. Sentence 2. Listen. Is someone crying? Sentence 3. Have you listened to that recording I sent you? Sentence 4. Did you hear the thunder last night? Sentence 5. All the neighbors heard the dog barking. And now, let's go back to the beginning of today's lesson. Can you fill in the gap? Be quiet, please. I'm listening to the news. Well done. Good job. You're watching lesson 2 out of 6 in the series about confusing words in the English language. In today's lesson, we are going to focus on watch, look, and see. Let's start with look. We usually use it when we move our eyes in some certain direction. When we turn our eyes to an object and pay attention to it. We do not expect the object to change or anything. We just turn and look at it. We look at some object, and it is very important to remember about the preposition at and use it if you use an object after it. Look over there. There is no object, so there is no need in at. Look at the dog. We have an object, the dog, so we need at. Next one is watch. When we watch something, we look at it for a long period of time, and this something is changing or moving. So we focus our attention, like, for example, right now. You are watching this lesson. You are focusing all your attention. Now, see. See means noticing something using our eyes, but we don't focus on it. For example, I saw you in the park last night, which means I noticed you in the park last night. Now look at these two sentences. I saw Avatar yesterday. It was amazing. I watched Avatar yesterday. It was amazing. Is there any difference? There is. In the first one, we basically mean I went to the movie theater and saw a film there. But in the second one, we mean I stayed at home and watched a movie on my laptop or on TV. So when we talk about the outside, the world behind the walls of our houses and flats, we use see. See a football match. That means that you will go to the stadium. Or see a film. That means that you will go to the cinema. But if we talk about at home, we use watch. Watch a football match. We use TV for that. Or watch a ballet. Again, we use TV or our laptop or YouTube. All right, now let's test you a bit. Here are 5 sentences. You will have to fill in the gaps with watch, look, or see. The first one. Emma, please don't look at it. Sentence 2. I can't wait to see you perform tonight. Sentence 3. I haven't seen him lately. In this case, see means meet. Sentence 4. Did you watch the football match on TV last night? Sentence 5. I can't see the stars. It's cloudy. Now let's go back to the beginning of our lesson. Can you fill in the gap here? I love the place. I can look at the view all day. Well done, bravo! Today is lesson 3 out of 6 in the series about the most confusing words in the English language. Today's words are particularly difficult for speakers of Russian, Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, German, French, and Spanish languages. They either have no direct translation or have differences in usage. These words are stay and live. Stay means not to move away or not to leave a place or a situation. For example, I stay at home at weekends. Leave means to go away from someone or something. For example, I leave home at 8 o'clock. So imagine if you are at a friend's place and it's time for you to go home, you say, I need to leave now. But if you decide to spend more time at your friend's place, you say, I'll stay a little longer. Now let's practice and fill in the gaps with stay and leave. The first one. Every morning I leave my house at 8 a.m. Number 2. When it rains, I prefer to stay inside. Sentence 3. I had to leave the party early because I felt tired. Sentence 4. Are you going to stay at home during the holidays? Sentence 5. Please don't leave your bags here. Now let's go back to the beginning of today's lesson and stay or leave. I leave my bike next to the entrance. Well done. Good job. In today's lesson number 4 out of 6, the most confusing words in the English language, we are going to find out the difference between bring, fetch, and take. So bring describes the movement toward someone or something. It means to carry someone or something to a place or to a person, or in the direction of a speaker. For example, I'll bring the pen, or Mom brought me to school, or bring me that cup. The verb take is the opposite one. It is the movement away from someone or something. It means to move something from one place to another, away from the speaker. For example, take your umbrella when you go out. Could you take the book to the library? I'll take the dog out for a walk. So bring towards the speaker, take away from speaker. But what about fetch? To fetch someone or something, you need to go to a different place and then bring it back. You usually can easily replace it with get. For example, honey, could you fetch me the glasses? I think they're on the kitchen counter. Or, come on, Darcy, fetch me the bowl. And again, bring towards me, take away from me, fetch, go to a different place, and come back. Now let's test you. Here are 5 sentences, and you will have to fill in the gap with one of the verbs: bring, take, or fetch. Sentence 1. Will you bring me or will you fetch me another piece of cake? Depends on where the person is. Sentence 2. Oh, sorry, I took your phone by mistake. Sentence 3. Oh, she's not home. She's gone out to fetch something to eat. Sentence 4. Don't forget to take the flowers to your granny. She loves them so much. Sentence 5. I have to fetch my husband from the train station. Now let's go back to the beginning. Can you fill in the gap? I'll take the dog out for a walk. Well done. Good job. Today's lesson is number 5 out of 6 about confusing words in the English language. Today, you will learn the difference between tell and say. Both verbs are used to talk about giving information from one person to another. We use say when we focus on the information. Say is followed by what is or was said. The listener is not really important. We say something to somebody. For example, Anna said it was easy to do. We also use say when informing others or giving information. For example, Michael says you have a new job. We use say to directly quote the exact words of a speaker. We don't paraphrase the words, and we say them as is. Amanda said, "Hello, John, how are you?" And when we hypothesize, when we imagine something. In this case, the sentence usually starts with let's say, in the meaning of let's imagine. In this case, the speaker starts a sentence with let's say and follow up with a scenario or a question. For example, let's say you won $1 million. What would you do first? Tell, on the other hand, focuses on the listener. We tell somebody something. For example, she told me to clean up by the time she comes back. We use tell when giving instructions or orders. In this case, we tell somebody to do something. He told his dog to sit down. And we use it when we paraphrase. For example, Julie told me she couldn't come. There is also a number of set expressions with tell and say. The trick is not to remember them as a list, but to pay attention when you see them or hear them in the context. The most important part is to make your examples, because you have to make these expressions yours. For now, you can stop the video and write them down or simply take a screenshot, but writing is more useful. Now let's check your knowledge. You will see 6 sentences and your task is to tell me if the sentence is correct or incorrect. If it is incorrect, let's correct it. Sentence 1. This sentence is correct. Well done. Sentence 2. This sentence is incorrect. They told me not to wait. Sentence 3. This sentence is correct. Sentence 4. This sentence is incorrect. We tell somebody, tell us why you're interested in this job. Sentence 5. This sentence is also incorrect. Mary tells her mom. And the last one, sentence 6. This sentence is correct. But don't forget, we have one more task from the beginning of today's class. Let's go back. So can you fill in the gap? Anna said it was easy to do. Well done! I knew you could do it. Today's lesson is the last in the series about confusing words in English. And today you're going to learn the difference between speak and talk. Speak means to have a conversation with someone, and talk means to speak to someone. So let's find the difference. So what's the difference? We use speak in formal situations when we want to be polite. For example, I need to speak to you. I need to speak to you. You may hear it at work or when someone has something important to tell you. Speak is also used when the focus is on the person who says the words. He spoke about the importance of their support. When talking about languages, we always use speak. In Switzerland, people speak 4 languages. You can use speak when talking on the phone. Who's speaking? Can I speak to Martin, please? Talk is used informally or when referring to some informal situations with friends, with family, maybe you're friends with your colleagues or even with your clients. For example, we usually talk during our coffee breaks. Talk focuses on one speaker and at least one listener in the meaning of to have a conversation. My friends and I talked for hours over dinner and it was so special. Both talk and speak are followed by to. I need to speak to you. This is formal. I need to talk to you. This is informal. Or you can also use with speak. May I speak with you? But it is quite formal. Now let's check your knowledge. You will see 6 sentences and you will have to fill in the gaps in each. Use speak or talk. The first one. Minnie speaks Japanese and English. Number 2. The teacher wants to speak to me. I think I'm in trouble. Sentence 3. George and I talked for hours. Number 4. Hi, this is Martin. We spoke on the phone last Tuesday. Number 5. I asked to speak to the manager. Number 6. Every time they meet, they talk about nothing but sports. Now you have one more task left from the beginning of today's lesson. So can you fill in the gap? Yes, in this case, both are correct. Can I speak to you or can I talk to you? It depends if you're in a formal or an informal situation. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson and this series of lessons. And if you did, like this video, share it with your friend or a family member, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Also, hit that notification button in order not to miss any of my classes. But that's it from me. Thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!